tonight you're joining the webinar on how to start your own business, and I'm your presenter, Matthew Morrow. I have MorrowInvest.com amongst other businesses, and I have been a financial advisor. I've had my Series 7, my 63, on multiple businesses over the years, and have been blessed to retire here in the last year. And so I spend my time trying to teach others what I've learned, and I've spent lots of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars actually, on examples, business ventures that have worked and have not worked. And so I will be sharing my experience with you tonight. Let's go through this disclaimer real quick. I hate that we have to even put this out there, but this is part of the litigious society we live in, so let me go over this real quick. This book or software, this information you're receiving is made available with the understanding that neither the author or the publisher is engaged in or rendering in legal, accounting, or real estate services. The information, ideas, opinions, and suggestions contained herein are believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed insofar as they apply to any particular area or individual. Moreover, because of the nature of the material and the fact that the laws are constantly changing, the assistance of a competent, qualified lawyer, accountant, or real estate professional is recommended when implementing any plans or ideas discussed in this information. The author and publisher specifically disclaim any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, incurred as a consequence, directly or indirectly, of the use of any application of these strategies or the contents herein. This work may not be reproduced. And terms and use and condition, your receipt and use of this manual or course materials, or in this case, your participation in this event, indicates that you understand and accept the terms and conditions as stated above, and without limitations you indemnify and hold harmless Matthew Morrow, Morrow LLC, MorrowInvest.com, its subsidiaries, any affiliates, and any other persons associated with the development and delivery of this manual or any other materials you receive in connection with this course, for against any and all direct, indirect, consequential damages of any kind resulting from this content. Wonderful. Okay, so why do I always love here to start with a demotivator. This is one of my favorite sites, despair.com, and it says, motivation. If a pretty poster and a cute saying are all it takes to motivate you, you probably have a very easy job, the kind that robots will be doing soon. Those always crack me up. There's actually a lot of truth to that. So why do you want to start your own business? Well, let's go over some reasons why you start your own business. Some of you want to be your own boss. The thought that maybe you can do your job better on your own. Maybe you feel like you could make more money. Maybe you feel like you are a better manager of your time and you could accomplish more on your own. Maybe it's for a new opportunity. Maybe you see a opportunity for a business. A lot of people look at Microsoft, look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates went to his bosses and said, hey, I think we need to focus on not the hardware but the software. And his bosses did not agree with him, so he quit and started Microsoft in his garage. And of course now he's one of the most successful people of all time and one of the, a billionaire. Maybe it's a family business. I grew up in a family business and could have and would have inherited that business. My family owned Personal Touch Catering, which at one time was the largest off-premise catering service in Central and South Alabama, and I had the opportunity to take that. But if any of you have taken a family business, trying to take it in a new direction, that can be very challenging. And the business itself, catering in general, is a very labor-intensive passion. You got to really have a passion for it to do a good job, and that just was not my passion. So that's not where I went. Some of you need to start a business out of pure necessity. Some of you are in a situation, and one of the only ways that you can get out of that situation is to start your own business. There's a lot of different types of businesses. The largest portion of all businesses is actually sole proprietorships. It's your small company, which is what we're going to go over tonight. The ones that actually make the most money are the corporations. It's that 80-20 rule. 80% of the businesses are actually small businesses, sole proprietorship, partnerships, LLCs, and the larger companies that actually make the lion's share of the profits are actually corporations. But depending on what you want to do and where you want to go and how you want to get there, will depend on what type of business you're going to start. We're going to talk mainly over the next few minutes. We're going to talk mainly about small business, and so that would be your sole proprietorship. It could be a partnership, an LLC, or it could even be a corporation, and those are just legal entities that go to protect your assets, and we'll discuss that in another webinar. Now, what are the demands of the business? These are we're just gonna brainstorm about what it takes to start your business. What kind of licenses are you going to need? Are you going to need a city license, county license, state license? Are you going to be licensed, like when I was with the Securities and Exchange Commission? Not only was I licensed in the state of Alabama, but I was also licensed with the Securities and Exchange Commission. So I was federally licensed as well. When I sold insurance, I was licensed in 7 different states, so I had to have a license for each state that I sold in. When I was a continuing education provider, my continuing education that I taught, the classes that I taught, were only available in Alabama. So whatever business you're going to have, and if you don't know if your business, they might not even have a license, and you might not know if you need a license. Most of the time, there's going to be some kind of license for your business, especially if you're going to be making money. And so you're gonna check with your local licensing department of your city, of your county, and they'll let you know what licenses you need once you tell them about what kind of business you're going to do. Are you going to need liability and workman's comp insurance? You're going to have employees. Is that something that you're going to need to have? What kind of products and services are you going to offer? Is this going to be a company that you create things, that you build some type of product, or is it going to be a service industry where you service some need of someone in your community? Or, of course, these days we're in a global market, so it could be a product or service that could service people around the world. What about employee recruitment and retention? How are you going to find and maintain good employees? What kind of benefits are you going to offer? These days there's a full benefits package where people have 401ks, insurance, and of course in the United States, as we're changing our insurance needs, one of the big things that's happened over the last year is that employers, with the advent of Obamacare or the new health law, they are no longer going to have employees not employees, but employees' spouses on their health insurance. So this is a big deal. So if a company does offer benefits and offers, say, to the wife who works at X company, they do not legally have to offer that insurance to the spouse as well. So the spouse will be able to fend for himself. That's a huge change from the last few years. You're going to have payroll, and with payroll comes payroll taxes that come. What about marketing and advertising? There's an entire industry built on marketing and advertising. Where are you going to spend your dollars? Is it going to be on as many free social media things as you can do, like Etsy and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all those things? Or is it going to be more traditional paid advertising, like a billboard or an email campaign or a mailer? You're going to have to answer those questions as you start your own business. There's more. Taxes. There's all kinds of taxes, especially if you get into your own business. You're going to learn very quickly that you are going to pay taxes at every turn. So you're going to have taxes on your property. So if you have either you're running business out of your home or you're going to run business out of a building, you're going to have to pay property taxes. You're going to pay taxes on all the products that you buy and all the services you offer, federal and state. Depending on where you are, those are going to be different amounts. I've got a few more here: Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. All these things come out of your payroll. Are you going to offer a 401k? A lot of people are no longer, when my father started at Regions Bank 40-odd years ago, they offer pension plans. Well, most pension plans are no longer, and that was a plan that was offered by the company that they would pay you once you retired indefinitely. Well, they figured out that was very, very expensive, and so they've gotten rid of those. So then they said, well, we'll make a 401k where employees can save their own money and we'll just match. Well, not all companies match now. Many companies will offer a 3 to 6%, and sometimes they don't match at all. So are you, in your company, are you going to be large enough that you're going to offer a 401k? Now, why would we offer all these things? Well, you offer these things to maintain and keep good employees. People are trying to better their lives and their lives of their families, and so they're going to continue moving up that ladder. So if they can do the same job, if they're an accountant, well, they don't really care if they're an accountant at a hospital or an engineering company or whatever. They're going to be an accountant either way. So if at one company they have more benefits, they match more, they offer health insurance, those kind of things, versus a company that does not, they are likely to go to those companies. So good employees are going to go where the best benefits are, and you'll see that as you go along. So one of the things as you start your business is, how am I going to keep good employees? It's not always about the dollar amount. Some people think that the only thing that matters is if I pay them a certain amount per hour. That's not always the case. There's lots of places that people will stay for a lower earned income, but they'll have a good benefits package. There's lots of companies like that. And we already mentioned health insurance. Legal counsel, my goodness. Yeah, what kind of legal structure are you going to have? How are you going to protect yourself? I read that disclaimer at the beginning, and I read that because people are litigious, and you can see it on the TV anytime you turn on. You can see it on billboards where there are lawyers that make their living advertising to sue people. Okay, so you can be sued for any reason, and that's why people set up LLCs and multiple layers of businesses and multiple layers of trust and different things to protect their assets. Because most of you, as you're starting your business, you're not going to have any assets. You really don't have much to sue for. But as you start making money, and that is relative to what is success to you, how much money is successful to you. Some people will be very happy with making $30,000 a year. That's more than the national average. Some of you are trying to make $100,000, and some of you are trying to make millions. So it just depends on where you are in that range to decide what type of business structure and legal counsel you're going to need. And as you increase your business, you're going to want to get more legal counsel, and you're willing to pay more for it as well. Same thing with your accounting. Most people are going to do their own accounting as they're starting out. They're going to get QuickBooks or the Business Office Suite, like I'll show you a little bit later on. Some people just do their stuff on a spreadsheet or an Excel sheet. And the more business you do, the more sophisticated it's going to need to be. And we'll see that as we go along. Sales is a big thing. Whether you're selling a service or you're selling a product, sales is where it's at. That is how you're going to make your money. How are you going to do that? Do you have a sales goal? Do you have a plan? Most people, and I was this way as well, as I started my first few businesses, the plan was to just make as much money as we could make. Well, what you find is there's three types of ways to make money. There's an individual and how much that individual can make, and that's how many hours you can work in a day. And then there's the next most powerful one is having employees. You can start a business and have employees working for you, and you can make even more that way. The most powerful way, and we're not going to talk much about this tonight, but the most powerful way to make money is to have your money working for you, is to have passive income streams and have your income out there making you money while you're not working. That's the most powerful one. That's what the rich do. So we're going to continue to talk about sales. We're going to talk about business goals. What is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Most people do not have a goal. Most people want to just work, and they only know when to stop working when their back gives out. When their back gives out, that means they've got enough. Or some people, as long as the power bill and the house bill is paid and they have food in the kitchen, they feel successful. And that's all their goal is to just be comfortable. I remember my father used to tell me that his goal was that if he ever had a tire blowout, he wanted enough money to replace that tire. And so depending on what your business goals are going to determine how much sales you need to make and how much money you need to make. And in some of these businesses, we're not going to really go into it tonight, but not all businesses are about money. It might be that you want to impact a certain amount of lives, or you want to impact your community. All of those things are great goals, but you need to have and set goals. You got to think about, when you're starting your own business, you got to think about inventory. What does it take to run your business? If you're building the latest widget, well, what bolts and screws and parts go into making that widget? If you're going to make a hamburger, what type of inventory do you need to keep to make that hamburger, right? So these sound like very basic things, but there are a lot of people that get very excited about this idea that they have, right? So somebody will say, man, I'm really good at cooking, right? I'm going to be a cook. I need to own my own restaurant. Well, being a good cook and owning your own business are very different things, right? So there are people that are fantastic cooks, but they might not be good business people, right? And you see this in lots of different ways. But there's, I know if you think about it, there's you can think about any number of businesses that you've gone into that you're like, man, the food was really great, but the service was terrible. Or that company, I really like a lot of people like Walmart's cheap prices, but a lot of people complain about there being 30 lanes and only having 2 cashiers, right? So depending on what type of business you're going to have is going to determine what type of inventory you need in order to accomplish your goals. I put this down there. A lot of people don't think about all the little stuff. It's the little stuff. It's being good at the little stuff that keeps you from being distracted, that you can I was telling somebody the other day that learning to take the trash out, learning to manage multiple things and being able to multitask in an efficient way is one of the keys to success. I mean, if you are someone that is easily overwhelmed and you cannot handle multiple things going on at once, you probably should be an employee. And that's not me making a judgment on you. That's just me saying that many times throughout your career, there are always going to be demands on you, and you're going to need to learn to roll with the punches. And the people that I find in my life that are most successful, including myself, are people that can manage multiple things coming at you all at once, and you can learn to roll with those punches. If a flat tire is going to ruin your entire week, if someone being rude to you is going to ruin your entire week, maybe you shouldn't work for yourself. If you're going to work for yourself, you are going to have many challenges, but I would tell you that the rewards are very, very great if you're willing to put in the time. I put this one down, run by Winn-Dixie. There's always, when my family had their catering business, my family had their catering business, whenever you would come home from in town, you would always call and say, is there anything I need to pick up at Winn-Dixie? Because they always needed something. And your business is going to be that way. There are so many people that are going to be so excited to go out and get their name on a business card, right? They're going to go to LegalZoom and they're going to print out some LLC, which I do not recommend. You need to go to a local attorney that understands your area and what you're trying to accomplish. But they're going to go out and print that, and then they're going to go to Vistaprint, right, or some other online thing where they print out their own business cards, and they can't wait to put their name on a card and hand it out. And I'm speaking from experience. I understand this, but a lot of times you get so excited about making the sale that you don't think through all of the things that it takes to run a business efficiently. Most people, when they start their own business, and this was including me when I started mine, my very first one, we didn't have a goal. We were learning on the go. There were days where we worked all day in our lawn service. That's what we had, was our first business, was a lawn service, and we worked all day until we were sunburnt and physically worn out. And by the time we put gas in the truck and bought our dinner, we had no money. So we had worked all day for nothing, and maybe we got some experience and some calluses. But as you get older, and certainly if you have a family to support, that's not a good way to do business. And as you start getting employees, you're not only responsible for yourself and your spouse and your kids, you're responsible for employees and their spouses and their kids. It's a great responsibility, owning your own business. It's a great blessing too, because you can really impact some lives. I want to just share this Bible verse here. I know not everybody on the call may not be a Christian or a believer, but that's fine. Wisdom is wisdom wherever you find it, and the Bible has a lot of good wisdom in it. So there's one of my favorite verses in 1 Thessalonians 4:11-12. Says, "Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, to mind your own business, and to work with your hands, just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders, and so that you will not be dependent on anyone." That could not be more true. I love working for myself. I love the being able to create things and being able to service and help people. It's one of the most enjoyable things I do. Here's one more, Ecclesiastes 5:19. "Moreover, when God gives any man wealth and possessions and enables him to enjoy them, to accept his lot and be happy in his work, this is a gift from God." So if you can be blessed enough to not only can you imagine going to work every day and enjoying and loving what you do? There's so many people. You could just go on Facebook or watching the news. There's so many disgruntled people that have no purpose in their life and do not enjoy their livelihoods. And so I would encourage you, if you can find what your passion is, and we're going to talk a little bit about purpose as we go on, if you can find what your passion is, it may be something that you can monetize and turn into something that makes you money. Now, you may enjoy doing, say you enjoy painting. Well, you might be a great painter, but you might not be a good business person. Well, that might not be a good mix. Or you might be a good business person and a good painter, and after a while, you are painting so successfully. Say you're painting houses, and you've gotten so much work that it's now no longer enjoyable for you because you're doing too much work, and it's kind of ruined the thing that you used to really enjoy doing. I know I felt that way when I was cutting grass. When I enjoy cutting grass back in the day, but when you would cut 10 or 12 other people's yards that day, by the time you got home to your own yard, you were not interested in cutting your own grass. So, it just depends on making sure that what you do, and it doesn't always have to be enjoyable, but being able to find your happiness in your work is truly a blessing. I love this. "Sacrifice. Your role may be thankless, but if you're willing to give it your all, you might bring success to those who outlast you." Right? So this is how a lot of people feel when they work for someone else. But if you work for yourself, you get to reap the rewards. All right, so what is your purpose? What gets us up in the morning? What are our responsibilities? Is it our spouse? Is it our kids? Is it the debt caused by the spouse and the kids and the responsibilities? Is that what your purpose is? Figuring out what your purpose is. I know there's a lot of people graduating college, and they're going to have a hard time figuring out what it is that they're going to do. They really don't know, and you might have had the same experience. When you get out of college, you have this degree. Maybe you're getting out of high school and you don't have a degree, but you're wanting to start some career, and you think this is the greatest career ever. And then you start it and you realize, man, I do not enjoy doing this. I've had friends that became teachers, and then as soon as they started teaching, they realize, I really don't like kids. So if you're a teacher, you need to like children to be an efficient teacher, and they got out of it. I've had friends that said they wanted to be a nurse, and then when they got into nursing, realized the great strain it is and the sacrifice it is to be a nurse, and they decided they no longer wanted to be a nurse. I got into the financial world and became a financial advisor right as 9/11 happened. So at the time, I was about a 22, 23-year-old kid trying to sell retirement products to older, seasoned individuals, and it was very, very difficult. It was not fun, and it was not a fun environment. And it wasn't until later that I realized that for me, my purpose is, as long as I'm glorifying God with whatever I do, as long as I'm helping others, it doesn't matter if I'm in a suit or not in a suit. And after that, my businesses really took off. Another thing you're going to think about when starting your product line or your service is how are you going to market yourself? You know, we talk a lot about branding. A lot of people will read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and one of the things that they miss when they read Rich Dad, Poor Dad is he talks about branding quite a bit and making yourself stand out from the crowd so that you can get paid, essentially, right? The Rich Dad, Poor Dad is now a brand. It's now a game. It's now a seminar. So all of those things, right, contribute to his passive income streams, right? That's why he has those set up, right? Everybody, now we're going to run through a few of these marketing ideas right here. You should recognize every single one of these, right? And this is just companies doing a good job of branding themselves. Smoky, right? Just some of you might not be old enough to remember this, but this is the Shoney's Big Boy. Aunt Jemima Syrup, right? The Energizer Buddy. The Green Giant, right? Joe Camel is one of the most successful ad campaigns of all time. Joe Camel sold more cigarettes than anybody in history, and he's still going. Mickey Mouse, right? One of the most recognizable cartoon characters, celebrities in all the world, right? The Michelin Man, right? Oh, this one is near and dear to my heart. I have a special place in my heart for the Pillsbury Doughboy. And we all remember Ronald McDonald, how exciting it was for him and Grimace and the boys, right? Tony the Tiger, everybody started their mornings with a bowl of cereal, and they were great, right? Toucan Sam, or is that, no, that's Fruit Loops, right? And, of course, the Santa Claus that we over here in America have come and known to love, that Coca-Cola actually branded, and the Santa Claus that we know and love is actually the Coca-Cola Santa. All right, so let's get into some ways that you can be part of being a good employer is being a good employee. A lot of people have the mindset that as they start this company, that they're going to rule the roost, and I'm going to have people do it, and I won't have to work anymore. That could not be further from the truth. I have found that even in large multi-million-dollar companies, billion-dollar companies, a lot of people forget when they think, oh, man, Donald Trump is rich. Well, Donald Trump goes to work every day. You know, a lot of people think, wait, man, Bill Gates, oh, that's so great. Well, Bill Gates worked every day, right? Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the country, what did he do? He went to work every day. He still is working for his company, right? So do your work. You know, if you're passionate about it, you need to be the most passionate person that there is about whatever service or product that you have. Okay, so this is a huge one. Be positive and don't complain about others. Negative people are reflecting their insides, and if you have time to watch what other people are doing, you must not have enough work to do. If you get caught up in what everybody else is doing, it is going to be very distracting to you. If you're going to be your own boss and you're going to work for yourself, you have got to be able to get off of Facebook and accomplish your goals. right? So say your goal, and I use this example a lot, but say your goal is to make $50,000 a year. Well, and you're planning on taking off Thanksgiving and Christmas, so you're going to take those weeks off. Well, that's 50 weeks, okay? So 50 weeks divided by $50,000 gives you $1,000 a week. If you're going to work a 5-day week, that's $200 a day. Therefore, for you to make $50,000 a week, you need to make $200 a day, okay? So if you are easily being negative, if you allow distractions to cloud all that's going on in your world, it is going to be very hard for you to achieve your goals. And if you can't achieve your daily goals, if you can't write down your daily goals and achieve those goals, you by default are not going to reach your long-term goals. Okay, so there's a lot of people that start a business, have a good idea, but they do not work out all the contingencies. They don't have backup plans. They're not able to roll with the punches. They can't take the ebb and flow, the ups and downs of daily life, and they're not prepared for when bad things happen, and bad things are going to happen. As a business owner, you are going to have things happen. You will have somebody to sue you. You will have a product that, a plan that doesn't work, and you have to be able to roll with this in order to continue being successful. This one is huge. Always asking for more to do. You need to always be looking for opportunities to do more. That is the way you grow. And if you're not growing, someone else is going to take that place. For an example, think about every time a new restaurant opens in your town, right? What does everybody do? They flood that restaurant, right? So what happens at the end of when everybody's flooding to that restaurant, what happens to the other restaurants? Well, they're empty because there's only so many people that are going to go out to eat on a Tuesday night, right? So you're only going to get so many people, and you're all vying for the same book of business, right? So why does McDonald's continue to advertise? They advertise every day. They spend millions of dollars on advertising. Well, why is that? Why do they need to advertise? They are the most successful hamburger sales company in history. They've sold more hamburgers than anybody else. You would think they wouldn't have to advertise anymore because people should know who McDonald's is. Well, that's true, but guess what? If McDonald's doesn't advertise every day, Wendy's or Burger King or Sonic or whoever they're going to advertise, and they're going to take that market share. So you need to always be looking for more to do, and do things that are not in your job description. You're going to need to learn to stretch yourself and do things. I've had to do things that I never thought. I've done door-to-door sales. I've done marketing. I've done web design, all those things. I'm not a computer guy. I don't know how to do web design, but I needed to learn to do web design, so I learned how to do web design. You do what you have to do, and you learn in order to grow your business. This is something I had a former boss teach me, which was if you will learn to meet people's needs. Zig Ziglar said it. It said if you can learn to meet others' needs and serve people and help them achieve their goals, that you'll be successful. Well, that's so true. If you can find a way to find out what people are really asking you, when people ask something of you, if you can try to meet their needs and find out what it is they're really asking, you will be successful. And be a man of your word. Be a man or woman of your word. Do what you say. There are so many people that go into business that want to overpromise and then they underdeliver. Well, you don't want to be one of those people. You would much rather say it's going to take me 3 days and it's going to cost $1,000 than you would say, oh, I can do it in an afternoon and it's only going to cost $500. I know you've had the experience where you've taken your car to a mechanic and they said, well, it's going to be $250, and then when you get the bill, they want to charge you $500. That's a very distasteful thing when that happens, right? Is that sticker shock when all of a sudden they change the price on you. You need to be of somebody when you give a price that you have already built in your contingencies, but it would be much better for you to say up front it's going to cost $500 and then be able to give them a discount and bring it back down to the $250. They are going to be much more happy with you if you said it's going to take 3 days and you got it done in 1, rather than you saying, I'm going to get it done in 1 day and it take you 3 days, it costs twice as much. I know, again, that some of these things sound really simple, but I deal with businesses on a daily basis that do not get this right. Here it says you don't have to tell your employers all you're doing. They will know. You don't have to brag on yourself. There's people watching you that you don't even know about. There really are. And with the advent of social media, if you do something right, people are going to tell their friends about it. And if you do something wrong, they're going to tell about it. And couldn't we all do more? You need to be thinking at the end of the day, what else could I have done to make today better? What else could I have done to make my business better? You need to take notes on yourself and be able to have self-evaluation. It's very, very important. Prioritize. Man, this could not be more important. Having priorities and knowing what's important and what's not important. There are so many people that involve themselves with things that are unimportant, that have nothing to do with their business. Okay, so they are saying, well, I'm not successful because it rained today. Well, what does rain have to do with you accomplishing your goals? Well, whatever, fill in the blank. You need to be able to prioritize and achieve your goals, whether or not you have obstacles. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have employees not show up. You're going to have a flat tire. You're going to have an IRS audit. You're going to have these things, and if you need to learn to prioritize what's most important so that you can navigate and be the most efficient at your business. We've already said set goals and make lists, and I have this one, always say a prayer. Never hurts to say a prayer. All right, I think this is my last slide here. To change the world, you must first change yourself. If you want to serve others, you have to be able to look in the mirror and take good self-evaluations of what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. And you do it's called a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you need to figure out what you're good at and what you're not good at. Let's go back to the cooking example. Say you're a really great cook, but you're not good at accounting. Well, in that instance, you need to do what you do best, which is cooking, and you need to then hire an accountant. Okay, again, that sounds silly, but I know lots of business people that have, 10,000 square foot offices with tons of stuff, tons of employees, and then you ask something simple like, do you guys have health insurance? And they don't have health insurance. Or you ask them, could you tell me what you have in inventory? And they have no idea what they have in inventory. Well, why is that? Well, it's because they are very creative, or they're really good at doing whatever that thing is that they love doing, but they're not good at business. So if you're not good at business, you need to get good at business. And part of the way of doing that is surrounding yourself with people that are smarter and better at whatever it is that you're not smart at, right? So if you can bake the best cake around, that's great. But if you're not good at business, you need to hire people that you can trust that are good at accounting or marketing or whatever. For instance, I am good at sales and marketing. Well, that's why I'm a sales and marketing guy, right? So I did not find my passion was in peeling potatoes. Now, to somebody, they would rather sit in a corner and be left alone and have no responsibilities other than managing cutting those potatoes. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that was their passion, they need to be the best potato peeler that there is. And you can have honor in your work no matter which spot you are in the company. You can still do your work honorably, and you should do that. You should be the best potato peeler. You should be the best salesperson. You should be the whatever to the best of your ability. Again, we've talked about this a little bit earlier, but what can you do to make your area, your workspace, your factory, your truck, your city, your state, your country a better place? And what can we do to make this world a better place? I would encourage you, as you start your business, find something that's positive that helps and serves people. You are not only going to reap the rewards of servicing and helping people, but you're going to have a positive impact on people's lives. I have a very bad taste in my mouth from people that I feel that God has blessed to be able to be smart enough and hardworking enough to own their own business, and then they start a business that takes advantage of people. We don't want that for you. Okay, I'm going to go real quick. I want to go to my website here. If you guys will come to MorrowInvest.com, not only is there a wealth of information on here, and you can sign up for our newsletter. I also have, if you'll sign up here at the bottom, I will send you. You'll join our newsletter, and I'll also send you one of the secrets of success. I'll send you a newsletter on that, and then you can go through these other things. But I have here the toolbox. And I just want to highlight one of the things in the toolbox, which is our small business boss software. Okay, it's called the Boss Business Software. You see here, and if you'll click down here on the link, it says check out our online store. If you'll click that link, it'll take you to our Square site here, and we'll go down to software, and here's the Boss Small Business Production Software. This software runs $1,000, right? And I'm selling it here for $350. So if you're interested in this, and I'm going to give you a quick demo here. This is our small business software offered by MorrowInvest.com. And I wish that when I had started my own business back in the day, I wish I had had something as extensive as this. This software just does way more than you could ever need it for. Stuff as simple as let's just do a walkthrough real quick here. Not only do you have all your contacts, and you can add those contacts. A lot of people ask me about a business plan, or how do I write a business plan? Well, look here. This writes your business plan for you. Okay? This is what you're going to take to an investor or a bank, right? I mean, could that not be any simpler? Right? So you're going to fill out your information here, and it's going to produce something professional that you can take, a business plan, not only have a guide for yourself, but you can take that business plan to banks. Look here. We have a business evaluator. Once you put in all this business information, it'll evaluate your numbers for you. We have these links here. What if you are asking the question, do I incorporate or not incorporate? Am I licensed to drive my financial vehicle? See all these things here? Every one of those will take you to a link, again, to help you be more successful. This is the built-in accounting software that's here. Some of you are going to use QuickBooks, but some of you may choose to use the Boss accounting software that's built into this program. And you'll see as it comes up. Again, this will do way more than you need it to. Personal financial statements. If you go into any bank, or investors are not always asking this, but if you go into any bank or lending institution, they're going to want to see your personal financial information. Okay? And all that can be put here. Life insurance policies, real estate holdings, personal properties and liabilities. I mean, it could not be more extensive, and it's printed out in a very professional way. And we're still going. The Boss has a payroll system for your employees, a document center. Let me show you this. This is really cool. Check out all the documents that are available. These are all, you need an equipment lease. Well, look at this. I'm going to lease equipment. Well, you can fill in your information. These are available in all 50 states, no matter what state you are. These are legally binding contracts. These are literally, if you had to go and make all of these different contracts with an attorney, can you imagine if you paid $200 to $1,000 for each one of these Forms. Look at all these forms. I mean, there's $10,000 worth of forms right there. This has a mail merge. You can, all your clients, once you put them in, you can merge them into your presentations. We have a presentation generator here, a note generator. This will actually, if you want to create notes, like you're going to sell a piece of property or piece of equipment. We have a mileage manager, so you get to write this off on your taxes as you start your business, and every time you run to the pick up supplies, or you run to make your sales calls or whatever, you want to keep up with that mileage. We have a mileage manager here. You can put all of this information synced with your Outlook. Print any of these items. You have a calculator. You also have a presentation manager here that will build professional presentations that you can use to show future clients. A marketing center. This is great. There's a you can sort all of your clients. Say this might not be a big deal if you only have 50 clients, but once you start getting into the thousands of clients, imagine if you could sort those clients easily from their city, their state, and create a list that you're going to be able to use just specifically for those people. It's a great tool. We used to have to do it the hard way on a legal pad, so that's really, really great. Then there's a glossary, of course, and then this is one of the best things. If you don't understand all of that stuff, you can click on the question mark here, and there are full tutorials available on the website. You can click any of these hyperlinked pieces here, and it will take you to the Boss website and give you a step-by-step instruction on literally everything you've seen here, which is pretty great. Okay. Again, visit us on our website at MorrowInvest.com. If you have any questions, you can email us at MorrowInvest.com. You can follow the links there to the contact page, or email us directly at MorrowLLC@yahoo.com or at MorrowHomes@gmail.com. Be glad to answer any of your questions there. All right, guys, we thank you so much for attending. You're going to receive an email here in a minute asking you for feedback on what you thought of the meeting. I hope you'll give me that feedback so that I can make a better presentation as we go along. If you have any future ideas for things that you guys would like presented, please feel free to share those with me, and I will do best to get those up on YouTube for you. Thank you so much. You guys have a great night.